All righty, so thanks again, everybody, for coming. I'll pass it off to our amazing NISA president, and he'll go into our Get Connected session. So thanks, Jonathan.
Yes, thanks for selling your way.
Oh, yeah. Just on the first YouTube one, you can just close it.
Gotcha.
There we go. We like Ed Sheeran on that one.
Okay, how's it going, everybody? I'm a little bit out of breath just because I was rushing from work, but I appreciate you guys all being here. I know the weather's kind of iffy today, so thank you for coming out, and everybody in Zoom. Hopefully you're in a safe, warm spot. So this is the Get Connected networking / LinkedIn / Handshake session that we have pretty much every semester. We have a session every semester just because of how important it is to have these certain things set up for yourself. So this is the fall 2022 session. So let's go. So networking. A lot of people, when they think about networking, kind of freak out, you know. I remember my first day walking into MISA. I sat in that chair all the way in the back, all by myself, and didn't say a word to anybody. So that's not networking. But if that's you, that's okay. Obviously, a lot of people are shy talking to people. A lot of people are a little nervous talking about stuff. So it's okay. This is why I'm having the session, so you guys can open up. I was not always this talkative. I was always the kid that's like in the corner, like I said, like didn't want to say a word, super nervous to talk to anybody. So if this is you, it's okay if you're afraid right now to talk in front of people. But to build your brand, to build your network, we're here to help you build up that courage and not be afraid to talk to others. So what is a networking? So in this like illustration, you see, let's say this is a career fair, you're giving a guy like your business card, and he's like, hey, let me give you my card. And then he just pretends to be interested and just cuts you off and says, okay. So that's not networking. Networking is not also just going straight up to the guy and say, hey, can you hire me? It's not like that. It's not a one-way conversation, and it's not like really what's in for me. You want to make sure you kind of follow up as well, but I'll get more into that. Networking is mainly growing a connection between yourself and another individual or another group. So like MISA, you're here. We're all somewhat networking right now. I don't know if we've all talked to each other yet, but just having a conversation between peers is an example of networking, whether it's talking about which professor to take, which professor not to take, which class to take, which class to take during this semester, that semester. That's networking. So obviously we're getting there in the networking, which is you guys being here in person and in Zoom. So networking is having a genuine conversation. I think we have I think there was a fair today, and then we have another one in a couple weeks. I'll pull that up in a second. We're all here going to college because we want to eventually get into the workforce. Because of that, you can't just randomly just say, hey, hire me. We have to build our connections, whether it is between your peers introducing you to somebody else, a speaker coming in and you're introducing yourself to a speaker in their company, or just reaching out to somebody through LinkedIn, which I'll obviously speak about more in a few. It's all about exchanging information. A lot of people hiring you, it's mainly just because of the connections you have. And building as much connections you can is super important, exchanging information. And you want, when you speak to somebody, to be actually genuine. You don't want to be fake when you're speaking to somebody, because eventually once you start developing that relationship, eventually they're going to figure out that you're being kind of fake. So you also just want to be in a workforce where you can also be genuine. So when you're trying to be hired, try to be your most genuine self. And also, don't undervalue yourself. A lot of people like say, hey, I only volunteered at like this local place, or where I worked before didn't have any technical background. Anywhere you work or anywhere you volunteer, anything you contribute to, whether it's, hey, I taught this kid music, or I did that kind of stuff with the Humane Society, anything you have that gains value to yourself. So don't be afraid to share all that stuff. So research has long shown that anywhere from half to upwards to 80% of jobs are filled through networking. It's probably more than that actually now. So definitely networking and sharing your skills is super, super, super important. So, what to expect when you're kind of networking, especially for a career fair, or you're trying to get hired at a job. You usually have a conversation with someone from the HR team, or like an IT manager that's part of the hiring process. And then sometimes through MISA, you get the chance to meet like higher executives, like the CTO, like the CEO. Last semester when we went to ModMed, we were able to meet the CEO and actually introduce ourselves to them. And that's like a great thing for MISA and its networking skills. Not a lot of people get to say that they randomly went to a meeting and met the CEO of one of like the fastest growing businesses in the entire country. But that's what the connections is. Your connection with MISA allowed you to meet someone that important. So what they will really discuss when you're first talking about possible internships or hiring, you want to discuss their company. Most important thing, there's a lot of companies in the world right now, and you want to find the company that fits you the best. You don't want a company that gives off a bad vibe towards you. You want a company that gels with your beliefs and what makes you feel comfortable. So definitely research that. What do you, oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, take whatever pictures you guys need. If you guys on Zoom wants to take a screenshot, take a screenshot. More than happy. If you need me to go back to anything, I'm not sure if anybody has the chat up. Let me know. Or just raise your hand or just ask me any questions. I'm here to talk about that. So you also want to know when you're talking to these companies, you want to figure out what they expect in the working field. We have all these companies coming in. So a great question to ask them is what they expect for a hire. I know there's a lot of like standard, hey, I just graduated college, but they're still expecting 5 years of experience. I know that's like a standard kind of label it puts, but when you really have a one-on-one conversation, there's a lot of companies that once they meet you and you show your value, they don't really worry too much about that. Whether it's certifications that they may require, or hey, there's this new coding or this new type of a software that our company's starting to get into. If you're interested in that company, it gives you a little insight to understand, hey, maybe I should practice on the side this kind of this software, learn more about it. And then even if you may not want to go to that company, like get advice from them. A lot of these people have worked many years to get where they're at, and they're super open to tell you their path and how they got there and tips to get you hired with not just their company, but maybe another company. So the tips are research the company and really understand what the company does. You know, if the company is a tech company, tech's so broad, really figure out what they do as a technical company, whether they like focuses on the medical field, if it's statistics through sports. I have a friend that works with MLB. He does analytics, calculating the speeds of all the pitchings and the bats and all that stuff. MIS, it involves all of that right now. So literally research the companies. There's a lot of different fields and subfields that you could get into with this degree. And just by understanding which path you want to get into, you could better prepare yourself when the time comes to get hired. And also prepare questions when we have companies to come in. It really puts you ahead of others if you're asking questions when companies come in, whether we have ADT coming in this semester, Google, and any of the other companies coming in. Just make sure you have these questions, because usually they know somebody in the hiring department, or they are part of the HR hiring department. So when you grow that connections between asking questions in these sessions, then you could definitely stand out in front of others. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we go on our website, misafeu.edu. We have all our events coming up and all the companies that's coming. I'll share that out in the end of class too, or give it to you in the end of class just to show you as well. Yeah, but most important thing is to stand out in front of others. Also try to remember names too. You don't want the speaker to come in and say, I forgot your name, hi, that kind of stuff. And I'll probably say LinkedIn about 50 times in this session. I know Professor Stewart in the back is super involved with LinkedIn, and he'll preach it as well. So we'll get into that in just a sec. So like I said, we have career fairs coming in, we have recruiters coming in. They're not here just to stand there. People are coming to the school to hire you or for internships. And then, like I said, they're looking for people to be a good fit with them. But on the other side, like I said before, you need to make sure like you research the company and make sure you're a good fit for that. I've had friends that had internships with certain places that I won't say, but after working there for a couple months, they're like, hey, this is not my kind of place. It's just 9 to 5. It's not like a family kind of vibe. There's no communication. There's no like bonding where they were at. You need to find a place where, you know, you could get your own, build your own like niche and where you'll be happy. So we want to communicate, do all the research, like I said. So does anybody know what an elevator pitch is? Anybody? Yeah, so elevator pitch is like a 1 minute, usually, or 30-second like presentation you would either put on your LinkedIn, or if it's a career fair, you introduce yourself to. So I know we have Desiree George coming in 2 weeks from the Career Center. She'll definitely emphasize that when she comes in. The Career Center also works with you to develop your elevator pitch and your resume as well. But this pitch is just, hey, I'm gonna show off myself as much as I can within these 30 seconds to a minute to impress the person that I'm hoping to work for. Obviously have your resume as up to date as it can be. Like I said, we have Desiree coming in a couple weeks. The Career Center also does resume consultation as well. And make sure, who here does not have a LinkedIn yet, or who has a LinkedIn? But who here has a LinkedIn? Let me say. Okay, so if you haven't taken your GEB class, I know a lot of GEB class like requires you to make a LinkedIn already, but if you have not made a LinkedIn, I would highly recommend you to make a LinkedIn. If you are uncomfortable, you don't know how to make it, definitely go to Career Center, reach out to us, or just look up like YouTube. There's tons of options to do that. I'll get more into what LinkedIn profile should look like in just a moment, but it is like the main hub where people find each other and get jobs. So LinkedIn, super important. So when you're starting a conversation, you want to start and create like a spark. So like I said, I brought the career fair a lot, but let's say you're going to the career fair. You want to like just start off the conversation, make that spark. So let's say, hey, it's a lot of people here at the fair, or how long have you been at the fair, or have you found any cool resumes or that kind of stuff, or current hot topics. I know a hot topic that's not fun is ransomware, but if you're up to date with that, it's something that definitely brings out to people. I think it was like this week or last week, LA County schools got hit by ransomware. So that was fun. So that's like another thing you could bring up. Talk about how long they've been in the organization or company. Or look for topics. If you see something that they're wearing, or you see like they have like a cool tattoo, or they have like a phone case of like anime or something like that. It's something you can relate to the person that they may not have had that conversation. You want to have your own unique conversation, because in a career fair, most of the time, everybody's having the same conversation over and over. Hi, my name's this. Yeah, that. You want to like make yourself different from all these other conversations. And if it's like a Zoom meeting or something like that, and it's like holiday times coming up, you could be like, hey, is that a Christmas tree behind you? Isn't it July already or something like that? in a fun way. Obviously, that's how you kind of spark off the conversation. So once you get the spark, then you want to start the fire. So you want to start asking a lot more questions about the company. Obviously, the company is going to ask you a lot of questions about yourself and etc. But don't be afraid to ask the person about their company, how they like the company. It's even okay to ask them, how do you think the company can improve? That means you're having the initiative. And add definitely a lot of different perspectives on different topics, and just try to create a personal connection with them. That's super important to differ yourselves from others. And always how to end the conversation, always follow up. So if you're at a fair, if you have like a Zoom interview or something, always follow up within the next couple of days saying, hey, through an email, hey, thank you for having this conversation with me. I hopefully look forward to having another conversation or possibly working with you in the future. Thank you so much. And then make sure when you put something as a follow-up, throw like a reference you had for the conversation. So it triggers something to remember for them to remember you. So just always follow up if you have an interview or you're at the career fair and you gave out a resume. Super important. Yep. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, let me do that while I'm waiting. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. We'll share that in the end too, and I'll pull it up so you guys could copy it down as well. Okay, so what's going on? So like I said, there's a lot of events coming up through FAU. I think we've had a job fair today from what I could see. So that was, I don't know if anybody here. Oh, Omar. Oh, it's Omar. What's up, dude? Omar. Oh, yeah. So that's awesome. And then we have a career expo on the 28th and the 29th. A technology and engineering one on October 20th. So that's just a couple career fairs. And even if you're not ready to start your internship or ready to get hired, I always recommend just walking through the career fair and see how everybody else interacts there, just so you can see how it's kind of set up so you're not nervous for your first day. So oh, and you get free swag. So that's awesome. And then, like I said, just try connecting to people through LinkedIn, send messages if you do meet them in person or virtually. So this was the networking segment of this presentation. So this is what we learned. Most important is to create a genuine connection, not expect anything in return, because you'll get turned down a lot. Out of 100 resumes, you might get a reply from 1 or 2 people. That's okay. That's happened from everybody. I know when Professor Stewart had his presentations, he's told us how much resumes and LinkedIn. 88. He sent out 88. So don't be afraid if you only send out 10. Keep sending it. Keep sending it. Make sure you understand the value of yourself and don't undervalue yourself. Try to make friends in MISA. Yeah. Just so, like, let's say you volunteered helping kids at church, or you helped at the Humane Society, but you don't think that has to do anything with like IT when you're trying to put that on your resume, you're trying to get hired. But just you helping others, you putting in hard labor, that kind of stuff, it definitely helps distinguish yourself than others. Yeah.
So you're telling me that volunteer is valuable even for salary?
Yeah, of course, dude. Like me, I spent years teaching kids music, and that's still on my resume. And just me doing that, it shows that, hey, I'm doing all this work to help people. I'm doing it for free. It's like, it makes me happy, but I'm putting in the work to do that. That's value for yourself, you know? So obviously you don't want like a 3-page resume. So obviously if you need to cut some stuff out, that's okay. But like I said, don't undervalue yourself. You like doing any type of work is putting value for yourself. and just try to find things that make you stand out from others, whether it is having a distinct conversation with somebody else or just a cool hobby that you might not other people might know about. So yeah, yeah, of course. Okay, so we're in the LinkedIn portion of the segment. This is probably, like I said, I'll say LinkedIn like 50 times. I think since I've been in MISA, I think when I close my eyes, I see LinkedIn in my dreams. So much I've talked about it, but that's just how important LinkedIn is, especially for getting hired. So interesting statistics: 3% of people apply on a job board land a job. So like I said, you send out all of these resumes out of 100, statistically you might get a reply from, I guess, 3, but that's okay. That happens to most of us. We've all, me, Professor Stewart, have all sent out many, many job applications. I'm sure Omar in the back sent out many as well. It says 80% of recruiters utilize LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure that number is pretty much in the 90s now, just because of where we are in our society now. Everything is going technological now. And 85% of jobs are filled through networking. It's just, hey, you know the right person, you have this connection, that's how you get into here, So definitely that's why networking is super, super important, especially through LinkedIn. So I kind of like made a mashup of different people's LinkedIns. So this guy, Joshua, he's a current PhD student. So this is kind of like your about section. So he's saying where he's a current student at, what he's studying, and then he kind of has like a funny segment about himself. So in LinkedIn, a lot of people say you have to be super, super, super serious when you're talking about yourself. But it is okay in your about section to have a little bit of humor when you're talking about yourself, just to distinguish yourself from others and kind of make sure when people are looking at you, it's the right person to match your vibe. So if a company could laugh at your kind of humor in your about section, maybe you'll fit in a lot better there. And then, like I said, I work at a MSP currently, but even on my LinkedIn right now, I still have my experience of working at a logistics team lead. So that's just me boxing out boxes and shipping out boxes and working out in the back room at Target. But that, even because of that, I still leave that in my LinkedIn just because I'm pretty proud of it. It showed me being a leader for a team. And so I put like some achievements under there. Also, since we're all FAU students, you'd want to put when you're graduating, etc. And then licenses and certifications. We're all, I think, MIS majors here, or somewhat MIS majors here, minoring in it. So having licenses and certifications are kind of required for some companies, or helps you stand out with other companies. So whether you're in security, you get your SAC certification, or you want to get your Google Analytics certification, or your Excel or Microsoft certifications, getting all of these certifications definitely help. If you're getting more technical, having like your C++ certification, all that kind of stuff, or coding and all that stuff, having that approved on your licenses certifications on LinkedIn definitely helps you stand out. And then skills and endorsements are also important. If you're an FAU student, I'm assuming everybody here knows how to use Word and Excel, right? Hopefully, everybody here has at least taken ISM 2000. Hopefully, no. Okay. Well, hopefully through your after you create your Excel and Word skills get better. If not, it's already great. And then you're able to put like, hey, I'm skilled in Office 365 or the Google ecosystem, whatever that's called. And then you're able to put that skill in your LinkedIn, and with your network can endorse you and say, hey, this person actually does know this. So that's why I said networking is super important, because if you put you have these skills and people endorse it, then other people will say, hey, these people know that this dude knows that or lady knows how to do this. So, and then just move this around. If you have any accomplishments, there's a section for that, whether it's like from high school, like let's say I was president of the engineering team in high school and we won first place in the county for our bridge design. You can put that just if you're starting out on your LinkedIn. Obviously, once you grow on your resume bills, some stuff could leave your LinkedIn. And then obviously put your interests. Putting interests could have people like their hiring see if you have like common things that they like. So this is kind of like how a overall LinkedIn profile looks like. Obviously, there's different variations that could be. So like the profile picture, there's definitely different type of profiles. So let's start off with mine. Obviously, I'm in like a suit, and that's awesome. And I have my love for FAU, so that's why I have that as my background. It just shows I'm like a college student. That's awesome. But then we have Mr. Bach in the bottom right. He's showing that he's super team oriented, so that's why he puts that in his background. He's wearing a polo. He's trying to convey that he's more laid back in his working ecosystem. And then we have the real MVP, Emily. If you haven't met Emily yet, you need to. She's the best, and she has like a kind of like an IT virtual background in the back where she kind of shows her interests. And so this section is really just trying to you're trying to show off your, I guess, your vibe in terms of how you want to display yourself to others. So don't feel like you have to be super suit and tie. I'm not saying like, hey, wear like a pajama onesie in your LinkedIn profile. I mean, if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I see some people wearing like hoodies, and that's cool if it's professionally. But definitely try to create your own image of yourself and how you want to display it to others. So this is a great way to start off, because this is probably like the first section when you go on the profile people see. So definitely look at that. There's different like abouts. So you be super professional about your about and be like, hey, my name is Jonathan Rivas. I graduated with my master's in 2023. I'm looking for yada, yada, yada for this position. And that's fine. Or you could be more personal and talk about, have, like I said, some humor in yours. Definitely there's different examples of abouts. Definitely, I would say research different about examples. Definitely go on your networks about sections, kind of see what they're putting in their about section, compare certain points, compare resumes. Just you want to just make sure you're building a solid profile. So just definitely visit a lot of different profiles, a lot of people that you think you want to work similar as. So definitely compare LinkedIn's. It's definitely recommended to add documents when it comes to LinkedIn. So like I said, I brought up the elevator pitch earlier. So you have the option of adding a video with an elevator pitch. Obviously, you can add your resume, your socials, the videos. And when I'm talking about socials, like I know back in high school, a lot of people like scared you about like, hey, on Instagram, make sure you're not posting like weird stuff on Instagram. It's true. Like, don't put like on social media, don't post like super like sketchy stuff on your social media, because if you like think they're not actually going to look at your social media, you might be surprised just from personal experience. I've with me like bringing on people or and etc. Like I've definitely as like just randomly looked up a person on Google, and like the first profile picture was them with, can't say it in the classroom, with a stuff that's illegal. So like obviously don't like make sure you're presenting yourself not just through LinkedIn but all your social media and anywhere anybody can find you as professionally as you can. So that's super important. And then like I said, there's a lot of different experiences you can put in. Like for me, I put Target, I put where I'm working at. Also I put where I volunteered at on mine. For these people, they put where they worked at before previously. Even if it's just Walgreens and then moving up, it's definitely important to put all that stuff for you. So like I said, skills, make sure you put your skills in and have people endorse it. That's super important. And then just yeah. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go through Handshake. Handshake is kind of like FAU's college LinkedIn. So obviously you have your profile that's similar to LinkedIn. You make it just like that. Important if somebody messages you through LinkedIn or Handshake, even if you're not super interested in it, it's always good to at least reply to them and say, I thank you for the opportunity. I am looking for something else currently, but thank you for reaching out, just to still have that connection just in case. And then obviously we have like Handshake will also give you certain internships or jobs that are coming up. So there's a internship coming up for General Motors or Nike that's coming up over the summer for IT or as analysts in business. So definitely look into that. And then we have a couple Handshake events coming up as well. How to succeed in your internship, and all this kind of stuff right there. Okay, so we are gonna break up into groups now. So we're gonna add breakout rooms. So I'm not sure we have any officers in the chat, do we?
I know, I think Courtney's in.
All
We
right,
always have a couple, so go ahead and stop the recording. So thanks so much, Jonathan. Gonna give him a nice warm round of applause. Good job. He did it in record speed, rushing over here, still made it through and got it done on time. So really amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stop sharing the screen, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just stop the recording here. Stuff is here.